Hey guys, I don't know if it's going yet or not. It says that it's validating the progress. So we're just going to sit tight until the validation says that it is complete. So looks like we are live. I just got an email. And so I'm actually going to log in here and watch it live as well because that's the only way that I get the comments. So, all right, it looks like everything is up and running and we've got things going. RC Trail Runner says hello. Hey man, well what I'm going to be doing is the SCX10 here. This is my first Trail Runner scale truck that I've gotten, and it's been through quite a bit over the past 2 years or so that I've owned it. And recently I broke it, one of the C-hubs, and it just kind of was out of commission for the past 3 months. So it's worse for the wear, but it still drives really great. We got the C-hub actually fixed up now, and it's been, I ordered the Knights Customs Angry Eyes here for this back in May. It's been a long time that this has been sitting in a box in my garage from Shapeways, but I got the kit that has the radiator in it, and then I bought the Axial light bucket kit, and you can see they just fell out. Now the problem with these things is that it doesn't come with any of the screws or things that you need to fully assemble it. So you buy this really nice 3D printed piece. You cut out your Jeep front here. You can see what it was just this little plastic piece here. And so just cut it out right along the lines of the ridge that it has in there so that you can install these really cool Angry Eyes like so, and have working lights and just a really, really scale cool look to it. But yeah, I've been I've been working or waiting to work on this. So I thought I had all the right pieces, and I don't have all the right pieces. Hey, Shadow Plays. Hey, Ben, how's it going, man? Where's the best place to buy parts? The best place to buy parts is where you can get them quickly and cheap, for the best price. Not cheap, for the best cost. I try to buy mine from my local hobby shops for the most part. In fact, I will be going tomorrow to Debbie's RC World to try and get all of the right screws that I need to finish this. I thought I was going to get in here and have a lot of fun and get this thing up and running to run it tomorrow, but we're getting out and we're going to go trailing or bashing, I don't know, tomorrow. Some guys are meeting up, and yeah, so this is not going to be running. It's going to have a big hole in the front because I don't have the right pieces to put this together. And that's a little bit maddening. It said that you need a light bucket kit. It shows the screws that are being used on the instructions for this. And those are not included in the light bucket kit. In fact, the light bucket kit doesn't even have the right screws to mount these buckets to whatever you're putting them to. So I did not know that until I opened it up thinking I could finish it in one night. And I am not going to be able to. The other problem that I had is that I bought this nice little light kit from Axial, which is 4 whites and 2 reds. So I was thinking I'd have 4 white lights to put across these light buckets, but they do not spread far enough to make it to the different buckets. So I've got one in, and it only makes it about halfway to the other side to be able to put in. You can see the little white light there. It does not make it to the other bucket, and then these two don't make it to the turn signal. So this is a bust, and these were expensive because they are Axial. Got a lot of chain on the rear lights, but these are red. So I don't know if somebody's done this kit before and they know what lights I should get or want to recommend some to me. That would be very appreciated. What's a must-do upgrade for an SCX10? That depends if you've got a kit version or you bought the ready-to-run like I did. One of the biggest upgrades, the best that you're going to get bang for your buck, is going to be the aluminum components here for your... why am I blanking on the name of these? I'm terrible with coming up with words when I need them. But your steering links and your links here on the bottom. If you get aluminum links, you're good to go. There's the word I was looking for. So this was all a kit, and it was all plastic, and they actually give you 2 sets of links, and I bent the first one, started just bending, and once they've gone and they've lost their rigidity, it is gone, and it starts hopping and doing a lot of crazy stuff. So putting the aluminum links, especially the steering links, if you're in the rocks and you're trying to turn, those front links, if they're plastic, will bend, and they won't work for you. So getting those is the biggest upgrade, and then the other upgrade, which you should have the parts to do in your kit, is to move your battery. They put them in the back and get it toward the front. I've actually got the Howler RC electronics and battery tray here that runs across mine, and you can see it sits down here. It's like a big U that goes around your transmission and motor mount, and it gets the battery nice and low up here in the front at an angle, and that's a big improvement. So that's my my favorite thing. So yeah, ready to run, I would do the links first. Those make a huge difference. You can make your own, or you can buy them from Axial, or lots of other places make them as well. I have the Axial brand. They were a bit of a pain in the rear to put together, and especially, and I didn't actually do it, but I only went 3-link in the front, so getting that worked out was a bit of a pain. But they make mods if you want to go and you want to make it 4-link in the front, but I was fine with the 3-link. So yeah, that's one of my favorite parts. I like my light kit for mine. It's an RC car flashing light kit, GT Power RC. Very cool, man. There's a lot of flashing ones. I actually wanted mine to be solid on, because when I'm filming, I don't want to have... The lights are already bad enough. A lot of times I unplug them because they flare so bad on the cameras. So they really do look scale, but they can be a bit of a nuisance for filming. But the truck altogether... Shoot, you're putting me on the spot here. I don't know. I mean, you're going to have to Google that and see what you can find. I think this one was $420 for this Jeep Rubicon one. But I could be wrong on that number. I'm kind of guessing. But we can Google it. Let's go ahead and do that. Give people a price here. See what they've got for prices for the RTR. The new SCX10 is $410. I'm not sure what the Rubicon here was. Rubicon RTR, but I think it was somewhere in that $400 range. Some places have it now about $390, somewhere in that range. So. Yeah, look around, find your best price. I've done some other upgrades to mine. People have seen if you've watched the videos. I do have dual motors in mine. You'll see that there's 2 cans here. They're both brushed, and running a Hobby Wing quick run motor, or ESC here, that can do dual motor, which was really, really affordable. I think it was like $35 for this ESC, fully waterproof. The drag on it isn't as programmable as some of the nicer ones, but it works for what I need it to do. I really like the extra power that having the dual motors runs, but that being said, it has meant that I've had to do other upgrades like metal gears, and so I ended up just doing a whole metal transmission or gearbox from Hot Racing when I went ahead and put metal gears in. I just did the whole Hot Racing kit, and it all fit together real nice, and I like it. But I'm really looking forward to, I haven't spent a whole lot on this. I haven't done a whole lot of modifications to make it look anything different than the RTR, other than like this roof rack. I mean, nothing else exterior-wise have I done to it, other than adding the winch on the front here. But I'm running the stock bumpers, stock sliders. I'm still running the original wheels. You can actually see how it's just kind of like flattening out here in the front because the foams are kind of toast. But I do have new wheels, some RC 4-wheel drive wheels, and I have some Proline rims, beadlock rims that I can use to put those together. But I have not done that yet, so that's the next project for this truck that I need to do, is get a second wheel set available. I do actually like these really soft and plush like these are, where they're just kind of collapsed. But yeah, if you had to get a crawler, you would get this model. I really like the look of this. So if I could own a truck in real life, I would choose a white Jeep Wrangler, black rims, black top. That's just kind of what I really, really like. I see them all the time down here. A lot of Jeeps. We're in a Navy town, so a lot of the Navy guys are running around in really, hopped up Wranglers that just look so sick. And so when I saw this, I'm like, well, I can't have the real thing, so I'll at least get the toy version of it. If I could own any car, it would be a Defender, a white one like this one back here. But they're kind of hard to come by here in the U.S., so I would go with a Wrangler. But yes, this is the RTR version. You only have about 700 years. Doing all metal gearbacks, output shafts, carbon steel drive shafts, Mickey Thompson beadlocks. Very cool, Ben. That sounds like a pretty beefed up truck. I'd tried different motors in this. I wanted to have some more torque, and I just didn't like the slower speed. I really liked where this truck was when it came RDR. Out of the box, thought the speed that it had was good. I wanted some wheel speed. And so that's why I ended up going with the dual motor, was to keep that speed of the 27 turn that came in it, and get more torque by just having two motors to give the power that it needs. But yeah, JCs, RCs, and more. This is the RTR version. I do a lot of RTR on my channel, mainly for myself because of time constraints that I have for building kits. Also, I don't really like working on RC cars. When it really comes down to it, it's not kind of my passion for the hobby. My passion is really being out and running them. I'll do repairs on them for breaking them or upgrades and things like that, but I don't want to have to put the whole thing together. But that's just how I am. I know a lot of people love to put them together. If you've got the time, the patience, and you love that aspect of it. I know people that'll have builds going for a year. And that would just drive me crazy, because I would want to have it out on the trail like the next day, if not the same day. But yeah, anyway, so this is my project that I'm kind of frustrated about. I have gone on, I've pulled down the directions for it, and I'm going to get these Knights Customs installed. This is like priority number one for this truck now that I've got a big hole in the front, is to get this mounted, get the lights running. I did do a test, because these lights that came in the RTR have not been running. And so what I did was, let's see if we can do it again. Because that video I was working on, I was actually not going to do a live tonight. I was actually doing a recording, and I was doing an assembly of this, and then I realized that I didn't have all the right parts. So, but I was pleased to find out that the lights that I have in here weren't killed from all of my runs, and that they actually still do work. So I can only test one side of them because the other has a different plug, but we do have, you can probably see these lights here kind of glowing, but these two front ones work, and it leads me to believe that these top ones might work as well. So that's good news. But one of the things that I also like to have is I like to have extension leads for these. And so all of mine are running off of extensions, so I can take off the top without having to unplug this from my receiver every time. I just unplug it from the little extension, which has a little bit of slack, which is nice. Because otherwise I end up forgetting about it, and I end up ripping it out and then damaging it. So, but it looks like I have a light kit here that I'm not actually sure what I'm going to do with at this moment in time. I'm going to actually take this apart maybe and see if I can reuse this wire, if it's how it's connected in here, and maybe make the other board work again. So that's something I'm going to look into, since I don't know that I'm going to use it for all of this stuff. Hey Rich, man, how's it going? Steve, RC Tanks and Trucks. I sent two people to both you guys. Somebody was asking about the Hyper Tracks and the Thunder Tracks, and I said, go check out 2RC Productions. So And then Steve, I told them they were asking about the Cheetah 2, and I said I haven't run it, and they were wanting to know if it was better than the Bison. So I said go check out RC Tanks and Trucks 24/7. He's got an awesome review. I think I could be wrong. I think you said you like the Bison better, but I could be remembering it wrong. Yeah. Anyway, my Bison is back up and running. I had a little small break with it. From some bashing I was doing. Not really a break as much as just one of the pieces came out that required me to unscrew a couple of the front components to move one of the pieces back into place. One of the metal shafts that run through the A-arms mounts into two braces on the front, and they're aluminum, so I had to back it out to fit it back into place, and it's back up and bashing again. Killer truck. So RC World, great truck. How much have I customized it? Well, I'm trying to do some more customization. I haven't done much to the outside. I was just telling everybody the outside pretty much looks. I took the back wheel off because it was too much weight and it kept hanging up. And all I've really done is added this little chintzy roof rack on the top here from Proline. So got a couple of like homemade elastic straps to hold things in. This really cool accessory for my winch from Nate at RC Crawler Workbench that I can use to hook into rocks and things and pull the truck out. But what I'm working on right now is trying to get this Angry Eye mod into the front. I just cut this out, and so this will be the biggest kind of exterior upgrade. But the mods for the inside, I've changed out all the links to metal links. I've put this Howler Customs RC battery and electronics tray in it, which is really killer. $20, I think. It seems like you pay that much for screws anymore and bolts, and you get this whole like metal U-shaped aluminum tray for that much. $25 or something. It's really killer. Dual motors, the winch. That's about it. Stock tires. I changed out the ESC, but original bumpers, original tires. You can see that they're kind of just collapsing. So yeah, but find an old micro machine and that can be a scale RC for you. Man, we had so many micro machines growing up as kids. I kind of wish I had a bunch of them. We had like monster trucks and everything. It was awesome. How do you, Shadow Plays, how do you grow to be a awesome RC channel? I honestly don't know that, man. I wish there was an answer like if you do this, you will have an awesome channel. Other than just communicating with people, being real, and being consistent as much as you can, and posting a lot of content. I think people like to see the people as well behind the RCs, and so anytime that you can be a voice to the channel, so they can hear your voice, see your face, I think that helps. I think that people like to feel like they're connecting with people, and that's what's really cool about these live sessions, is that people can post comments and we can answer questions and all of that. So yeah, Ben, that's awesome. He used a Hot Wheels car, he's saying here in the comments, as a 1/10 scale for his 5th scale vehicle, or his model. That's pretty awesome. But I need to find out what LEDs. Maybe Rich, maybe you would know a really good brand of LEDs. You seem to do a lot with lighting, but I totally failed on this when I bought this LED kit that had 4 white fronts and 2 red rear lights. I had no idea how short these cables were going to end up being in the long run between each of the lights. I guess the only way that this works is probably in a maybe a light bar situation would allow these to work. So they'd be really tight together into a light bar. But pretty disappointed in this this purchase right here overall. But yeah. Just make videos that you'd be proud of. RC tanks and trucks 24/7. That's all I've done, man. Is going back to Shadowplay's question about how do you have an awesome channel. Is I really started out making these videos for myself to watch, and then putting them up to share with my brothers and things like that. I've never really put it up with the intention of growing the channel in any way. I've just put out videos that I like to watch. Now that gets a little bit different when you get into like some of the unboxings and things like that. And watching myself unbox something's not something that I would say, oh, I love to watch this. I do watch a lot of people unbox things because I want to know what comes in it, what they think of it, when they get it out of the package, the quality, that kind of thing. See what it has that might not be listed online, or hard to know or see by pictures. So along those lines, there's I like to watch and bashing videos. I like to watch myself when I was a kid racing bikes. After the races, we'd all come home and we'd sit down, and my dad would plug in his big old VHS camcorder into our TV, and we'd watch all of the races that we competed in that day. And just really enjoyable because it's completely different from what you think you're doing when you're out on the track to seeing how it all plays out when you watch it in replay. So that's what I started doing with the RC cars, and then I just decided to put some music to it and throw it online. And I still love just the first time when I'm done out on the RC track. Sometimes I'll stop at like 7-Eleven and get a cold Coke or a coffee or something if it's cold. And I'll actually sit in the parking lot and I'll watch some of the video from us doing whatever running we were doing while I'm there, because it's just enjoyable to see, because it's a different perspective on how the day went. So, hey Alyssa, I'm doing well. She asks how we're doing here. But yeah, this truck again was down. Just I'm actually selling one of my RCs. I haven't done that yet. Somebody, the guys at the local hobby shop here at Debbie's RC World, Josh asked me, he's like, about some of my cars and how many I had. I said, well, I haven't sold any of them yet. He's like, what? Because he likes to buy and sell all the time. He couldn't believe that every one that I've bought I still pretty much own, except for some of the smaller ones that I might have given away. But yeah, I'm actually, the ones that have been sitting, I'm actually looking to turn around and sell now. So I think I'm going to sell my Go Fast car. I gave it a try. It's not really my thing, so I'm looking to trade the HPI Flux or whatever, HPI RS3 Sport Flux for whatever the Porsche race car looking thing. It's a sweet looking car. It looks great on my shelf, but I don't really ever get out to places where I can run for speed. So I done BMX, Ben. 20-inch bikes, and then there was the cruiser class, which were 24-inch tires. And so we did that for 10 years. Broke my collarbone when I was 18 at a national race. We were in Ohio. That was not fun. And neither was the ride home. That actually really sucked. It was painful. And then, because they didn't really do anything for it other than put a sling on it and told me to go see my doctor back in Michigan. So, yay for that. But yeah, I mean, really, I don't know. I'm always shocked at what people like when they come to YouTube, what they watch, what they click on. So I don't know what I would be lying if I said I knew what was successful and what would be something to do. But other than just doing what you like, and if there's other people out there like you, they should like it too. So just like they're saying, be true to yourself, and be as honest as you can. We've been doing some reviews on things, and especially if you're getting something from a company, as the channels grow, some people reach out to you. I've turned people down for the most part for about a year, and then I recently said yes to a couple of companies that I would review their stuff. But I told them right away, I said, people come here and they expect honesty, and they don't want me selling them something that's a piece of junk. And that I wouldn't actually run or enjoy myself. And so I said, if it's junk, I'm going to say it's junk. And that's just kind of how it is. So yeah, it's just about being honest. People want to be able to trust you, and yeah, I mean that's the best I can tell you. And just have fun. I mean, really, honestly, people love it when you're having fun. So if even when things break or things don't go right, try and look at the positive side of it. If you're always negative, people are going to catch on to that, and it's not going to be enjoyable to watch your videos. So eggs, just open eggs. There you go. But yeah, there's a lot of great RC channels. I love watching RC videos, and I love being on Google Plus, communicating with people. We've done so many of these live things that haven't actually been live to YouTube. We've just done them to talk to each other because we enjoy the community aspect of it and learning from each other. And so I think that's actually what a lot of it is. Why do people come to YouTube? Why do you come to YouTube? What is it you're trying to learn? What is it you're trying to watch? And if you answer those questions and you try and fulfill or give an answer to those types of questions with your videos, then I think that as well makes people want to watch, because, people tend to come to YouTube because they want something. They want to learn something. I've learned so much. We've been doing so many house projects around here. We bought our first house after being married for 10 years. We'd always rented, and we decided we were going to stay in this area, and we decided to buy a house. And there was a lot wrong with it, and we knew that. And we've just been working hard at fixing all the problems as we have the money to. But I go to YouTube and I look up how to do things all the time, from the simplest things for people to some more complicated things: how to lay tile, plumbing, electrical, you name it. I've probably looked it up on YouTube, watched people do it, and then gone and done it myself. So RC tanks and truck. That is the perfect answer, I think. He says, and most importantly, drive the RCs like you stole them. That is exactly what I do. I pretend like they're not mine, and I just go for it, and I have fun with it. So I love to jump them. I grew up jumping bikes. I really can't do that anymore, just for getting older and braking easier, pulling muscles easier. And so I really enjoy getting these out and doing what I wish I could be doing on a bike, I do with the RC cars. And then what I wish I could be doing in a car, I probably am doing with this Jeep, like mudding and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just kind of like, it's like people do with video games. There's a lot of those ones where you, like augmented reality almost, like where you are in the game and you're building up a life for yourself in the game. Well, it's kind of like that with the RCs. What I wish I could be doing with these trucks, or in real life, I do with these trucks. A lot less expensive when things go wrong and you roll down what would be a massive hill, scale-wise, compared to these trucks. So, but I really do, guys, if anybody actually used these Knights Customs, because I would love any advice that I could get for an LED system for it. The screws is something, I mean, he gives the numbers for those, which is great. He gave the number for the light bucket kits, but the lighting kit that I bought just doesn't work. So, yeah, I'm really wanting to get this installed. It's been since May, and it's time. It's time to get this done. But I saw, anybody see the new news from Trax? There's some really cool RC news that came out this week. The Traxxas X Max has been upgraded to be able to handle 8S now. They have a new ESC. They've got new drivetrain for it. So the diffs and stuff look like they've been beefed up, and they sell a kit for like $300 for us first gen owners to be able to soup our trucks up to what they're going to be selling as the new normal for the X Max. It looks killer, absolutely killer. And then Axial just announced a lot of people didn't think it was going to happen. They thought it was maybe a rumor or some kind of a stunt thing. But they did release the Axial, the Yeti, and what is the the trophy truck or the stadium truck. I want to say the Bomber, but it's not the Bomber. But they release those in an 18 scale version, and they look really well built for an 18 scale vehicle. Your 3S LiPo lighting your Valenian on fire. Oh my gosh. Yeah. At that point, I would probably... I'd stay away from it. Modify the light buckets and use one too many RC's lights. This, if you go to Shapeways, or if you just Google Knights Customs Angry Eyes, these will show up on the Shapeways link. Now there's an Evil Eyes as well that are much more slanted, which I didn't want to go with that look, so I went with just the Angry Eyes. But here, I can probably give you a better view if we look at it here. So these are the Angry Eyes. The Evil Eyes slant, really a really hard slant in there. But you can see I've already got, the light buckets installed for my signals. I've already made my other light buckets are ready to go and get installed. But I need to get the LEDs because I don't want to have to take it off to be able to install them later, which is why I waited so long in the first place until I thought I had everything I needed. And these lights was the last thing because I am just really bad about lights. I don't do much with them. And so I was afraid I was going to get it wrong. And then I thought that I had it right. And in the end, I had it wrong anyway. So, yeah. Here's that battery tray I was talking about too, where you can see it kind of goes up. You've got your battery mounted at an angle here. It screws in on the top right here. It's flat there, and then it comes down and across on this side. So you've got two trays here to mount stuff on. So I was talking about some of this stuff earlier in the video. And then this is the dual motor mount from Level 3 RC, I think, something like that. And it's basically this plate right here that allows you to do the dual mounts. And that's all it is. It's super cheap. It's like 13 bucks. Then you buy the other motor and the spur gear or the pinion, and you're off and running until your plastic gears go, and then you've got to take it all apart and put metal gears in. So I recommend doing that from the outset when you get into there and you take it apart, because I had a big issue with that. So. Yeah, Yeti Jr. What was the other one, though? What's their other one, Jeff? Hey, Frankie, how's it going, man? All right. Well, I'm not gonna keep this going much longer. There's a bunch of activity going on in the comments. I'm waiting to hear who Jeff says he just heard from. I think I know who it is. Somebody that's been off the grid for a while. Am I right, Jeff? Did I pick up any batteries from Venom on Cyber Monday? Oh, no. Shut up, man. 15 bucks? No, I didn't. I do prefer Venom batteries. I don't know why. It's just what I got into the hobby using. I'm using here, it's a bias battery, actually, which is made by the same company that makes Venom. In fact, everything about this is the same, pretty much, except the color. So I don't know what they did different to make this one a little bit cheaper. But it is from the same kind of mold as the Venom battery. And these hard packs especially have done really well for me. Now the 3S that I've put in the soft packs into my X-Max, those things have puffed. I've destroyed 2 of them completely. One of them is just kind of leaking out, doesn't work. One of them just stopped charging. I'd get the error when I try and connect it. And then now I've got 2 more in order to run the X-Max, and one of them's puffing. The other one's still great because it's fairly brand new. The Score Truck. That's the one I was thinking of. Thanks, Tony. Pablo, you heard from him, man. That's awesome. Poor Man RC, have I ever used a 18-volt drill motor? I have not. I've thought about it. I've seen where Medic has done it over on his channel, and those things are a beast. They're huge, but he was putting in some pretty big stuff. So if I were to buy lights from any of the rig drift lights, they last the longest so far. Cool, that's good to know. Do you have any links to any of those lights that you're talking about, Ben? Where's the CCXRC merch? Shadow Plays asks. It's on the website, ccxrc.com. I've got t-shirts, hoodies, and things like that. So, Frankie says it looks like I'm frozen. I don't know if that's just for him or everybody else. But this live stuff is all completely new, guys. I would, if you want to get into doing YouTube live, this is just kind of bonus. There's a really great app out there called Switcher Go. They just released it. I'm actually using Switcher Pro, I think, right now, or Switcher Studio. It's a more advanced version, but it's not necessary, and it's actually paid. It's a monthly subscription, and I'm going to just can that, I think, here soon, and go with Switcher Go, which is the new one, which only allows one camera, but you can control it from a device like an iPad or something else, so you can control the levels and the focus and all that right here to the camera over there. And so this is just my iPhone here, and I'm using an iPad here, but you could use two iPhones. You could like take your girlfriend's iPhone and put it over there and use yours to control it, or you could use an iPad if you have one. It's pretty slick software, really easy to use, gives you controls over your camera on your phone that you don't even have in the regular camera app. So I know I've seen some people trying to do live videos and they haven't really had much luck with it. Sorry, because if you do it through your computer and you don't use Hangouts, it's a bit cumbersome to set up the stream that you need in order to be able to host the video. And this seems to be a pretty flawless solution, quality-wise. And I really liked how it works. You can install graphics, overlays, things like that. With Switcher Go, you can actually, if you have videos from your past runs and you want to queue them up and talk about them, you can actually hit a little tab and add the video to the feed and hit play, and it'll actually play. So if you're wanting to get into this stuff, I would highly recommend it. It works both to Facebook and to YouTube. And if you're wanting to start communicating live, this is just kind of a last minute tidbit on the end of this video here. Check it out. It's called Switcher Go. There's Wirecast Go, which I'd mentioned before. The benefit of Wirecast is that it allows the comments to appear on your phone up there where you're looking, because I have mine facing so I can see what's in the frame. But the comments show up on there, but you can't control it from another device, and so it's hard to get it to focus or set the lighting when I can't actually reach it here and tell it where I want the lighting to be focused, and it'll be too bright or whatever. And so I found this to be really great because I can actually control. If I want to go brighter, I can just tap on the screen here, and you can see what it did to me. And this is the problem I had with Wirecast, was it was like this, and I couldn't reach far enough to get it to expose again properly. And so if I just tap here on the screen, it'll expose on me. So anyway, that's just a little bit of tidbit for you guys if you are looking to get into these. It's really the most simple, basic setup. You tell it that you want to go live, put in your YouTube info, title, description, hit go live, and you're there. So it's pretty easy as long as your internet connection is good enough to be able to stream it. And I don't even have that great up here in my office. It struggles, but it tends to do good enough for these streams. So there's some magic going on here. So, but all right. Everyone says it's still rolling well. Well, that was my little extra tidbits for people, because I'm seeing more and more people hitting these live streams. In some ways, it's really nice because you don't have to sit down and edit later. You may run into issues if you kind of have slow spells or whatever, or nothing's going on. But one of these days, I want to try a live unboxing and just see how it goes. A little bit different take on an unboxing video. You don't get to do all the cutaways and extra stuff, or even build stuff where you see really how long it takes. The editing can kind of cut away from kind of what the work is that you're doing. So lots of ways that I plan to implement it. I still want to keep doing the regular videos, where I can edit them, get them nice and slick and all of that. But we'll probably actually do a live run video here in the near future, and then you can see how bad I actually drive, because I cut a lot of that stuff out. So always a fan of the videos, Tony E says. I just want to say that. Well, thank you very much, man. Thanks for tuning in. Shadow Plays, you say follow your account on Instagram. Go ahead and follow me, and I will hit the follow back for you, man. I love seeing what other people are doing in the RC hobby, and it's fun. I mean, we're just hanging out, playing with cars. People do a whole lot better stuff than I do. And I love to be able to see where their imagination takes them, because everybody sees things differently. Where I like mine clean and almost stock like it came. Some people like completely rig theirs out. And I'm tough too, because I want to try new things. I wish that I had like aluminum axles on here and really beefed up stuff. But it's like $100 for that, or put that $100 towards maybe an RC four-wheel drive beast. I'm going to lean toward that beast. So, yeah. Well, thanks, Jeff. Hopefully next time you hear from me, I will have gone to Debbie's RC World and picked up LED lights and the right screws to put this together, and I will have it out and running next week. I was really hoping to run it tomorrow, but not enough information in their box or their instructions, or 3 little pictures on Shapeways that tell you how to put it together. So, what do I think about the X-Max 8-cell upgrade? 50 miles per hour. That's insane for a truck that big. So I got the Bison. It's pretty much the fastest car that I have right now, and GearBet sent that to me. I always want to make sure that I mention that, not because it's bragging or not because of anything, but that I didn't pay for it, and I'm not trying to say that, anyway, it's the fastest car I own, not because I chose it, not anything. They sent it to me to test it out, and it goes about 50 miles an hour, and that is just screaming fast for me. To imagine the X-Max at 50 miles an hour, braking, and just how fast and it feels to me at 35 miles an hour, it seems that scary to me is the word I'm looking for. It's expensive for us that have the first version, $300. Do I need it to go that fast? No. Am I going to get it? Probably not. I don't have any 4-cell batteries, so that's another $200 probably in batteries to get 8S. And so I'm looking at $500 almost to try out that speed. I'm already over jumping everything at 6S and 35 miles an hour. So that's kind of, I think, where I'm going to stick with it for myself. I can't wait to see other people running 8S. I'll be honest and say that. I think it's an awesome upgrade. I'm glad that it's coming that way now out of the box. I mean, that's amazing. If I hadn't invested in the 3S batteries, and I would have had 4S, and it came like that out of the box, I'd have probably loved it. But more speed, more potential for brakes, gears, stripping, who knows, But that's all part of the hobby. Any car you get, you can abuse them too much. What I stay at, what I would actually like out of that would be maybe some of the extra speed out of the gun, so that I could wait until the very last minute and then gun it to make some of the jumps, so that I could have more control in the slower range leading up to it through some tricky terrain, and then really punch it at that last minute at the base of the jump to be able to power over. So I think that would be a pretty good use of that 8S run for me. Scott's asking, recommend what lowest turn brush motor for trail truck crawler. Lowest like 27 or lowest like slower speed like 55 turn or 35 turn? I have 35 turn, 55 turn, and 27 turns in my crawlers. I prefer the 27 turn because I like wheel speed if I'm stuck and trying to get up something. But that's where I put in the dual motors in this one so I could keep some of the torque that I really enjoy in the low end of, say, a 35. If I want to just go a little bit slower and really use the power in it. So 55 was just like a dog. It was so slow. But you kick up your lipo, you know, maybe run 4S, and then that becomes peppier. So, you know, gearing, battery, so many things play into it when you get into the change in your motor size for how you want to run. The people I know that run the 55 turn tend to run 4S batteries. So Chris Taylor says, really enjoyed your video on how you film your RCs. Christopher, I'm probably going to do an update on that actually. I don't remember exactly what I was using then. I use my iPhone for a lot of it now because I can keep it moving. And it's more enjoyable. And somebody asked about how do you make YouTube videos or your channel grow. And a response from Steve at RC Tanks and Trucks was make it fun. And the best way to make it fun is to be actually having fun while you're doing it. And so when I find if I put a camera down on a tripod and I'm just running to go through that shot for the film sake of it, I'm actually just making a movie. I'm not out running RCs and having fun. And so it's not enjoyable. It's not as enjoyable because I just keep hitting the same spot. I go and set back up, I do the pass. I go back and set back up, I do the pass. And then I move the camera and I do something else and I do it again and again and again. Where when I'm on the selfie stick with an iPhone, I'm just driving, you know, and I'm running, hitting different things. I'll run with it to get to the next jump. And so I'm having a blast the whole time I'm out there. I'm not even thinking about the filming. I'm just following it as I'm driving. And I'm just driving like I would be if I didn't have a phone or camera in my hands. Awesome, Mark. You're going to love it, man. I've not stopped driving the Bison since I got it. And so that was one of those, I guess, lucky scenarios where when I finally told somebody that I would do a review, I was very picky about what I asked for, and I went and watched videos, and that one looked like a truck that I would actually like, and so that's what I would want to review, because if I'm not going to enjoy it, I don't want to bring it on here and just talk about it. And so once I saw I would enjoy that truck, I asked them to send that. They did. And I thoroughly enjoy it. It's one of my favorite trucks that I own. So it's right. I mean, it's right up there with the X-Max. I don't have any truggy things like that, so I wouldn't be able to compare it to, say, like an Arma, because the Creighton or the Outcast look like they would be kind of a similar truck. But V-Car's definitely trying to make a decent truck with that Bison. They're not just putting out junk. It looks like they want to be in this market. And that's why they've gone to Hellion and asked them to kind of brand it and, you know, kind of help take it further. So just looking over some of these here. How do you think a dual 35 setup would be? That would be super torque, man. I would probably, if I did a dual 35 setup, I would definitely run 4S batteries on that. But it would be tough, man. It would be unstoppable. Especially if it's geared right. So I got the SCX10 2, and that thing is slow out of the box, especially on 2S. It's running a 35 turn, I believe. But it seems even slower than it should be at a 35 turn. Lots of power. I mean, it can just sit there. And it's the SCX10 2. If you haven't watched any of my videos on it, I keep saying it's unstoppable. And I had it out the other day when I went out bashing with RC Crawler Workbench and another guy, and we started crawling at the beginning, and we were doing some things and said, oh man, that's just going to be impossible. Well, the SCX10 made it like look like it was child's play, and then the other trucks just couldn't do it. And it's just shocking to see how well it handles with that low. You know, it's a slow driver, but it is just all power, and it's just planted. Hey Ben, man, put up some links for us. I don't know that they actually will save. So after this video is done and it converts or whatever, all these comments disappear, which is bad. I think that's ridiculous. On Facebook, they don't. They include them and they kind of pop up live like when they're happening, or you can see them all as comments. But on YouTube, for some reason, the comments throughout this disappear. And so that's why I'm trying to read the questions or the comments I'm responding to, because they disappear. And it would be great if I could ask you to put a link here and I would be able to see it later. But if you put those links into the bottom of this video or any of them, I will get an email saying about it, and I'll be able to check in on that for you because I don't have a quick way to do it right now. So I don't know what I just did. I just messed up the comments somehow. It's my channel too. iPod. You can, yeah, iPod. Anything that you can use that you can get low to the ground is awesome. But Mark, yeah, like I said, you'll really enjoy it. It's a sweet little rig. The only thing is that shipping is going to take a little while. I've noticed. I order, so they sent me that for free, but I've ordered stuff from them as well. And I actually just recently on Black Friday ordered. They sell those the digger, and they have like a logger that picks up, and they're huge. They're metal like construction vehicles, and they're pretty decent size, and they were like $50. And so I had to get them for my boys. I'm working on building a sandbox and play for it for them right now, and so I got them so that they can move sand and stuff like that with them. But I ordered Black Friday. It's still not here yet. So it all depends too on when it says it's going to ship on their site, and then from about that point, it's about 7 to 10 days, and it all depends on customs because those do come with a LiPo battery. So mine came with a 3S LiPo battery in the Bison. I've seen most of the other people that have bought them as well are getting a 3S LiPo in them. So that could slow down some of the customs coming into the country with the batteries. Scott, what is your recommendation on how to build a successful YouTube RC channel? Why is RC Sparks so big in your opinion? We talked about this earlier. I'll kind of give a synopsis of it again. That's the one thing with live, people miss some of the stuff. Let me tackle what I didn't say in the other one first, because you asked a secondary question of how why is RC Sparks so big in my opinion. I think there's a lot of factors why RC Sparks is so big. He's a lot of fun to watch. I mean, he's great to watch. His filming is really fantastic. He has some of the rigs that you just don't see anywhere else. Some of it being cost. And so, you know, even people that aren't into RCs are like, holy cow, look at this guy clearing his driveway with a 1/5 scale front end loader that's remote control. Or, you know, some of his early stuff where he'd do the skate park bashes was insane. But he was one of the first guys doing some of that stuff. And so, you know, just having that traction in the beginning, once you start to grow and you start to get, you'll see actually a lot of this right now being talked about on YouTube right now about the algorithms changing and how it's hurting bigger channels or how it's doing yada, yada, yada. Because a lot of the weight was on your following, your engagement, all of that based on how they would push your videos into people's feeds. And they're saying that they're not getting pushed as well anymore. They're losing subscribers, whatever. So I think that getting into it early helped him. I think that he had really great ideas. I think he's a really smart guy, and so I think he thinks about what he's going to be making videos on. I think that he answers a lot of questions that people have, shows you how to do something if you're new to the hobby. The waterproofing videos, especially how he waterproofs and shows different methods that people have. So there's a lot of things that I think he does that make him very successful. I think that he sees it as a business, and he does really well with it. I really enjoy his videos. They're longer, some of them longer than I like to watch sometimes on some of the run ones, but some people love to just sit and watch it all. So I may watch the amount that I want to watch and cut out. But again, with YouTube, people shouldn't expect that their subscribers are going to watch every single one of their videos. It's just not. I don't even make these videos for me, myself, I don't even make some of these videos with the intentions of some of the subscribers even watching them, because it's not what they're into. So there's some people that are into crawlers. There's going to be people that are into the Star Wars stuff. There's going to be people that are into bashing, people that want unboxings and to learn about the new things or learn a new trick. And so everything is geared toward different people. And so if you can have a market and try and cater to and keep people interested enough along the way that they come and they watch, it brings in new people. So it's not always about making the videos that are targeted toward the audience that you already have, but don't make it in a way that it pushes them away at the same time. But you can make videos that are completely for beginners or other people to get them into the hobby, and it's a different audience, and so those people watch, and they subscribe or whatever. So there's lots of different ways you can do it. Minutes is definitely a part of what gets things pushed, and so I think that's partly why Medic's videos are longer too, because if you have longer videos, then your average goes up if you do have people that stay to the end of it. Whereas if your videos are only 30 seconds long, all of them, then your average watch time is only going to be 30 seconds. But if you make them 15 minutes long, and some people make it all the way to the end, other people's cut out at 2 minutes, 3 minutes, your average goes up. So watch time has definitely been something that they've looked at, because there was so much of the you could put just a clickbait title and an image, and people would click on it and realize, oh, this is crap, and they'd go away in the first 2 seconds because they realize that it's not what they clicked on. And so in order to combat that, they've used watch time as a huge part of their algorithm for pushing videos when people are looking. So yes. And who knows what this live thing is going to do. I know one of the tricks, so I do video production for work, so I have to study a lot of this stuff. I try and keep as much in the know as I possibly can. I'm running all of this to do just a simple live stream. It's got a microphone, just to make audio better, all this stuff. But Facebook changed a lot of the way that their algorithms work. And so if you're doing live videos on Facebook right now, it's getting pushed to more of the people that are in your, that like your channel or are your friends. And so it's got a higher push. And so one of the things people were doing was they were taking old videos and using a service to stream them as live so that it gets sent to more people. And so people always find a way to work these things. And so that's where they constantly are changing. As people find ways to game the system, they try and keep on top of that. And it's really funny, actually. So you've got a Hilux body and you're torn on whether to get a trail finder or an SCX10 too. Tony, it depends on what you're trying to do with the truck. The SCX10 2 can just tackle about anything. Really, a trail truck handles rocks, handles pretty much anything. The trail finder is a smaller truck. It's not going to tackle quite the same amount of things, but the way that it looks in scale competitions in its class is a really amazing truck. So right now, as much as I love the D90, if I were to get anything from RC 4-wheel drive, it'd probably be a trail finder too. And a lot of the people that I know run them, and theirs are just amazing trucks. Vitera Ascender, my thoughts, never driven one. Don't have many thoughts on it. The turning radius was insane on it. I like that the chassis or the rails are expandable, so that you can customize it based on your body or your body length that you want to try and have a wheelbase for. That's really cool. The SCX10 now has amazing steering, and so that's what I went with. I just am familiar with the Axial product and wanted to just stay in that line for parts and other reasons. So Ashley says, when I was getting the hobby, I know I was looking at review videos on RC cars. LOL, yep, that's how I saw it on my recommended. What did you see on the recommended? Ashley, was it one of the videos? Like, what was it, a review video you saw? Hey Ben, thanks for making that video. That'll be awesome. I'll keep a link out. You can message me too. I don't know if you use Google Plus, but that's a great way to just communicate. Go on and you can type a message to me, and you just choose your audience. You can make it public, or you can actually type in somebody's name as your audience, and then it's just like a private conversation. So, Yeti XL. I would get an X Max over a Yeti XL. I like Axial, but Traxxas is just the king of the bashers, in my opinion. Again, not having driven Arma, but the Traxxas X Max, I think, just in a lot of ways is a better truck than the XL. If you're looking at the price being the same, again, depends on what you want to do with it. But at that size, I'm probably thinking I'm going to bash it, where the Yeti XL is like a rock racer. I don't have rocks around here. I'm going to just be looking at jumps. And I had a Yeti, and I kept breaking it because it wasn't meant with that solid rear axle to handle the jumps. So having the independent suspension in the back is just more forgiving for bashing. Cheaper to fix. Way, way cheaper to fix. So yeah, I would, given the two, I would choose an X Max. Oh, okay, cool. Well, thanks for tuning in, Ashley. Lots of great crawlers if you're looking for a crawler. This is, I mean, they're like a trail truck. It's more what these are than a crawler. Crawler has a lot more articulation, bending. It's like competition type things. These are kind of like scale trail crawlers in a way. We try and crawl with them, but they're not a true crawler. Scott, if you watch some of my videos, you'll see that the Yeti broke in about almost all of them. I loved it, but I just couldn't. I kept trying to flip it, and it ended bad. Even if I didn't flip it, it ended bad. So, really fun to drive. Just, I was using it for the wrong purposes because it feels like it wants to be a basher, and it's just not. But I see the guys that are riding them on those like rock racing competitions, and it looks amazing. You just did the X Max upgrade for 8S, and that's insane. I'm going to have to look. Do you have videos of it up there, RC Muscle? If so, I'm going to have to go check that out. I want to see it. I saw the Traxxas video, and their videos are always killer. iJump RC was making a bunch of them. I don't know if this is... Yeah, I've got his sticker up here on my computer. iJump RC. I love his videos. I wish he'd make more of them. It's been silent on his channel for a while. But yeah, ring and pinion stuff that'll hold up. You know, a lot of people have complained about that, Baker Boys, the ring and pinion set that'll hold up. I've gone through one in the front. I got it in February, and I have beat it up. I have taken it into rivers. It should have rusted out at this point and just fallen apart. But for some reason, I've only toasted one ring and pinion. People are saying they're going through them left and right. Now, I will say the one thing I don't do is I don't just run full speed on it all the time, and then I'm not like full speed and jamming on the brakes or anything like that. I'm also careful about when I'm landing, having the speed not being on the throttle or trying to match wheel speed with when I took off. So yeah, right. They can take it. $299 is a lot, but you'll buy it. I know. Do you have the batteries for it though? Do you have 8S already? Baker Boys, you say Traxxas can just take all my money. $299 is a lot, but I'll buy it. Do you have 4S, two 4S batteries to make it 8S? Because that's more money that they'll be taking, or somebody will be taking if you don't. It's kind of hard. There's a delay here, so I'm kind of waiting for a response, but so it probably feels weird on the other side of the camera. But this is going on my ending. Ashley says, I bought a cheap FOY3 to learn the hobby, but I like running it fast and moving it, go in circles, so I was going to add a 5.4 gigahertz cam on it just for feel of being the driver. FPV cars, I haven't done it yet. There used to be a channel called RCFPV Vids by a buddy of mine out of Australia, and he doesn't do much of the FPV stuff anymore. He does just a lot more of the regular trail and bashing and whatever videos, but he used to do some of the FPV on the cars, and it was awesome. He did it one time where he drove it, and I think his channel is now Epic RC Vids, or what's the name of it? No, you have to buy the batteries. Yeah, it gets expensive, man. Xmax, Xmas, Xmax. That's what it's going to be. But he did one where he took his FPV car and he drove it down to a local shop, and he had money on it, and they put his sub on it on a little trailer, and he drove it back to his house so he could eat the sub. It was awesome. I loved it. But that first person is really cool inside the car. Is the FOY F0Y3, is that a camera or is that a car? I think it's a car. Let's look it up. F0Y3 RC. I wish I could just quickly show this. Looks like a camera. Little quad. This is live. I'm trying to figure out live. Oh, it looks like it might be a... Oh, the Eagle. FY03, the FIU. It's kind of like the knockoff Twin Hammer. I've seen a lot of videos on those, and they're pretty durable. Pretty durable little truck. I probably didn't change my gearing. No, I didn't change my gearing. I'm running the Xmax stock. Full on stock, and I love it. I did break the rims though. 3 of them. That was expensive to repair. So, well guys, I think I'm going to wrap this up. It's midnight here. I did not plan to go this long. We ended up doing Q&A. What I should probably do is just kind of create a night of the week where we can do a Q&A live session. Where maybe if you post questions on a video like say this one, you for next week, I'll try and find the answers to them, and we can answer them, or anything that comes up live on the channel, try and answer as well. Handed charger, mine only do up to 3S. You are looking at a Xmax Xmas very soon there, Baker Boys. No, actually not many of them are belt driven anymore. Mostly if you're going to get a belt driven car, it's usually a speed car, like the low to the ground racing cars. So these are gears with drive shafts, which is just great. I mean, there's plastic actually drive shafts to the front and rear diffs on this from the main gearbox in the center. And then you can actually do people will move their motors up to the front like a real truck with like a transfer case, and that goes to their transmission, and then to the drive shafts out to the car. So you can actually make like a really sweet setup that a lot of people do. GCM has really awesome modifications for that. All right, Rich, thanks for tuning in. Thanks, Tony, for tuning in. I am going to check off here, guys. But yeah, there's a bit of a delay, and also a delay in me being able to look over. It's about 20 seconds, so that's a bit tough if I end up looking over here waiting for an answer. But thanks for tuning in, guys. Tony here, CCXRC, and as always, have fun RCing. We'll catch you next time. If you got questions, make sure to post them in the comments below. If I don't answer by comment, we'll try and host a live session here in the next week where we can answer some more questions. So I'll very soon try and just get a slated scheduled time that I try and do the live Q&As, and we'll set them up as events that will have a start time on them. So anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys.